from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved. And we saw that Yahweh asked this question in Song of Solomon, the 8th chapter. So let's go back. That's in the Old Testament, Song of Solomon, the 8th chapter, so we can look at our foundation scripture where Yahweh asked this question. Who is this that's coming up out of the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? Song of Solomon, the 8th chapter, and we're going to read verse 5.
Praise
Song of Solomon,
the
8th chapter. Let's read one verse. Verse 5 reads,
Who is this that cometh up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? I raised thee up under the apple tree. There thy mother bought thee forth. There she bought thee forth that bare thee.
all right, so Yahweh asked this question. Who is this that's coming up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? Well, Yahweh is showing us it's the spiritual people of Yahweh. It's us. We're in the wilderness.
Yes, we are.
The earth is a wilderness.
Yes, it is.
God made the earth a wilderness.
Yes, he did.
But it's the spiritual people of Yahweh that's coming up out of the wilderness. How are they coming up? They're leaning upon Yahshua.
That's it.
Yahshua is showing them how to
Hallelujah.
come up out of the wilderness.
Yes, he will. Yes, he
And
has.
Yahweh is showing us that the wilderness, in the wilderness,
Hallelujah.
we find out we're supposed to be serving Yahweh.
Yep.
Just like the song we just sang, this is who we are in you. This is why we're here.
Yes, we are.
And there's so many people that are clueless, but Yahweh's people are not supposed to be clueless.
No, they shouldn't.
They're supposed to be clued in.
Yes.
They're supposed to be plugged in.
Yes, we are.
Are in the Old Testament. Let's go to this other scripture in review. Exodus, which is in the Old Testament. Exodus, the 7th chapter.
Praise the mighty
So
God.
who is that coming up out of the wilderness? It's the spiritual people of
Okay.
Yahweh. Now, Yahweh has a natural people and then he has a spiritual
Yes, he
people.
does. Y'all right.
It's only the spiritual people that are coming up out of the wilderness.
That's the only way you can
Yahweh's
come
going to
up.
show
out.
us in this series, there's a lot of people of Yahweh. Some spiritual people died in the literal wilderness, but they will be in the kingdom. But a lot of natural Israel died in the wilderness and they won't be in the kingdom. So Yahweh wants us to avoid that trap. Why? Because they want to dismiss Yahweh. They want to dismiss Yahshua. They want to do things the way they thought they should be done.
Right.
And it went badly with them. All right,
Yes, it did.
Exodus, the 7th chapter. We're going to read one verse, verse 16.
Hallelujah.
Exodus 7 and verse 16 reads,
And thou shalt say unto him, Yahweh, Elohim of the Hebrews, hath sent me into thee, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear.
okay, it says, and thou shalt amar unto him. It's talking about this black Pharaoh, his reign. All right, you had one black people having another black people in slavery, which was our forefathers. We were the black folks that were in slavery unto the Egyptians, who were another black people.
Okay. Tell it like
Thou
it is.
shalt amar unto him, Yahweh Elohim of Ibryi. We're Hebrews.
Yes, we are.
Have sent me unto thee, Amar, let my am go. For what reason? That they may evid me.
Yes.
Where are they going to serve me? In the wilderness. This is where we are, people. We're in the wilderness.
Yes, we are.
Our forefathers back then, they were in the physical wilderness. But the world is a wilderness.
Yes, it
so
is.
they were inside the wilderness, in the wilderness.
Okay.
He said the reason we're in the wilderness and they were in the wilderness, to ebed or serve Yahweh.
Yes.
That's where you learn. If you don't learn in the wilderness, you don't get out of the wilderness.
Okay.
It says, and behold, hitherto thou would not shamar. Talking about Pharaoh wouldn't shamar, but there's some Israel that won't hear.
Right.
Yahweh's talking to them, and they won't hear because they don't want it to be that way. But that's dumbness. See, when Yahweh tells you something, you can't fight against Yahweh.
I know,
you
right?
can, but you're not going to end up where you want to be.
I know, right?
So in the wilderness, with Yahweh, we find out the truth about ourselves.
Okay.
So there are people that may have told us some things about what was good, what was bad. They may have said some things about us, and they could have been good things. But if they didn't know Yahweh, then they weren't true.
Right.
They said they did the best they could.
Right.
So we don't blame our parents. What we do is we learn from them and say, oh, you know what? My father and my mother, they were Methodists, they were Baptists. So they didn't know this. They taught me what they knew.
Right, right.
They sent me to the church house on Sunday. So I'm not bashing them.
Nope.
All right, so at least I got something.
Yeah, you get
so
something.
now Yahweh has helped me divide truth from error.
Hallelujah.
So in the wilderness with Yahweh, we learn what's good and bad.
Yes, we do.
So we not only learn who we are and about ourselves, we learn what's good and what's bad. All right? Yahweh proves to us in the wilderness that in order to know who we really are, He needs to tell us.
Okay.
Yahweh is the only one that can tell us who we are. And you have to watch out for people trying to step in to tell you who they are. Even if they're Yahweh's people.
Okay. Y'all right.
They can be sincere, but sincerely wrong.
Okay.
That's why Yahweh establishes this relationship so it's you and Him. It's one-on-one.
Right. Intimate.
All right? Old Testament, let's go to Deuteronomy, the 1st chapter. It's just a little review. We're going to get into moving forward. So ancient Israel did not go straight from Mizraim or Egypt to the Promised Land.
They did not.
Because they needed to learn how to obey. And when you obey Yahweh, that means you respect Him.
Yes.
You reverence Him. That's why we're in the wilderness, so we can learn how to respect Yahweh.
Okay.
And to reverence Yahweh.
Yes,
and we won't be standing up saying, I know Yahweh and I'm a servant of Yahweh and I know the truth. And then you look at me and I'm out here sitting up in the restaurant on Mother's Day. And my family has bought me the meal on Mother's Day.
Okay.
To help me observe Mother's Day. I won't be doing that. Why? Because I know that's not of Yahweh.
Praise the mighty Yahweh.
I won't be standing up saying that. Why? Because I know that's not of Yahweh. I'm supposed to treat my mother and father right every day.
That's right.
Amen.
I'm not supposed to be following no pagan custom.
Amen.
And talking about, okay, well, it's all right. No, I'm not going to do that.
Amen.
Praise the
Now,
mighty
again,
Yahweh.
we're all grown, so you do what you believe is right, but we're reading the same Bible, and in the end, when all the dust is gone, guess who's going to be left standing? Yahweh and Yahshua and those that did uncompromisingly what they said to do.
God said, for thus says Yahweh.
All right, we're in Deuteronomy, the 1st chapter. So ancient Israel didn't go straight from Egypt to the Promised Land because they needed to learn how to respect Yahweh.
Just like
That's
today.
the same reason we're not going from that seat up in front, because we need to learn how to respect Yahweh.
Praise the mighty Yah.
There's certain things we can do up front, but as far as like the Ruach speaking through us and stuff, Yahweh has to get us straight first.
Yes, He does.
So we don't get up here and be saying stuff that'll lead people astray.
Right.
So we won't have people's blood on our hands.
That's right.
We don't want to hurt our brothers and sisters.
Right.
We want to love them. We want to show them the straight and narrow path. Yahweh didn't say it was straight and narrow for nothing.
Teach, sister.
He didn't say to come out of Babylon for nothing.
Right.
Teach the truth, sister. Teach.
Praise the mighty Yah.
All right, Deuteronomy, the 1st chapter, and let's start at verse 2, please. And it reads,
There are 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir unto Casabari.
all right, so it says there are 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir unto Kadesh Barnea.
Right.
That's talking about from Mizraim pretty much to the Promised Land.
Okay.
11 days.
11.
But now, they didn't get there.
Right.
Yahweh blocked the way of them getting there. He sent the spies out from this location to search out the land. Then the spies came back talking about how horrible things were and talking about how they couldn't do this and they couldn't do that. So what happened is called the wilderness of wandering. It says in this region, the Israelites spent 38 years after they had left Egypt, and they spent a year before Mount Sinai. They went as far as Kadesh. That's where we just read about, right? It's 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir, talking about Esau's land, unto Kadesh Barnea. They went as far as Kadesh on the southernmost border of Israel, from which place the spies were sent unto the Promised Land. The spies returned with a report of the inhabitants and their walled cities, and the people were discouraged.
Right.
And they began to murmur and rebel. So this is what goes on in the wilderness. That's why Yahweh put us there, because we have a choice. Either we're going to get on the rebel side, or we're going to get on the revolutionary side.
Hallelujah.
And on the revolutionary side, there's fewer people.
Yes, it is.
You're going to have to stand up against more rebels.
Okay.
Because there's more rebels. There's more people that don't want to do what Yahweh said. That don't want to hear Yahweh. Of Israel.
Tell it like it is.
Of our people.
Tell it like it is.
Be truthful.
It said they discouraged the people. So it was 10 men that came back and told a lie and discouraged the people. And 2 men stood up and said, no, everything is right like Yahweh said.
Right.
But the people began to murmur and rebel. It says, for their sin they were compelled to remain 38 years longer in the wilderness because it showed they were not yet prepared. You're getting prepared in the wilderness. Now either we let ourselves be prepared or we stay in the wilderness and don't be prepared.
No, die in the wilderness.
They were not yet prepared and trained to conquer and to hold their promised possessions. It's called the desert of Paran, which means the desert of wandering. And now it says towards the close of the 40 years from Egypt, they came back to the same place on their way to the promised land. All right, in the Old Testament, let's go to Exodus, the 17th chapter. And then we're going to go into part 2. Exodus. So they were right there at the
I know, right?
And their mouth got them in trouble.
Right. He said, like the devil and the power of the tongue.
Exodus 17, and we're going to read one verse. Verse 7.
Hallelujah.
Exodus 17, and let's read verse 7, please.
And he called the name of the place Messiah and Mabah, because of the planning of the children of Israel, and because they tempted Yahweh, saying, is Yahweh among us or not?
Now, you see, they were dealing with Moshe and Aaron and Yahshua and Caleb, but now they're talking about, hey, is Yahweh among us or not? So you'll go to temples where the rebels are in there, and they'll come up, rear up against the leadership, talking about, is Yahweh among us or not?
Right.
But you see, they think they're dealing with natural people.
Okay.
But when we're listening to Yahweh, and again, don't be looking at me.
Right.
Like the man that I believe it was Keeper healed, he said, don't be looking at me like I did something. This is Yahweh. All of us are like this.
Praise the mighty
Yahweh
Yahweh.
do what he's telling us to do.
Hallelujah.
He said, and he Korah Hashem of the place Massa and Meribah.
Okay.
Because of the chiding, the rebelling,
Right.
the backbiting, the talking against Yahweh of my man of Israel. Not against Moshe and Aaron. They thought they were just dealing with men.
Right.
He said, and because they tempted who? Yahweh. By what they said.
Right.
Is Yahweh among us or not? Well, you just came out of
I know,
Israel in the
right.
sea open. What did So Meribah means strife.
Okay.
It means contention. And when you see strife, that's proof that the devil is there.
Okay.
We are in unity.
That's right.
When the rebels come in, then here come the strife.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's only one side. You're the rebel or a revolutionary.
Right.
And as a brother said a couple of weeks ago, and it was repeated by the Ruach last week, Yahweh don't have any wimps. He don't have no punks in his army.
No, he does not.
It doesn't mean you be all hard and cold.
Right,
but it means what Yahweh says, thus said Yahweh.
That's it.
And
it's finished.
Don't come trying to tell me it's any other way than what Yahweh said.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Because as far as me following Yahweh, when I know what Yahweh said, I'm gonna love you. I'm not
It's a done deal.
I'm not gonna disrespect you.
Right.
Somebody tried to come to me a couple of weeks ago talking about I can pray and at the end say in Yahweh's name. And I just listened, quietly. And then at the end of the conversation, while he didn't know I was at the computer pulling up the scriptures on the concordance. And then at the end of the talk, I said, okay, respectfully, brother, here's the scriptures
Right,
that
right.
it showed me about how I'm supposed to end the prayer in Yahshua's
Okay.
name. So here, you know, and if you want to talk after, we can talk. But you know, there's no reason to be rude in it.
No, it's not. That ain't how y'all rolls.
So strife, contention. So in that verse in Exodus 17:7, we read, he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, where the people murmured, and they vexed the leader.
Yeah.
And he struck the rock instead of hearing. He heard what Yahweh
Right.
said,
Right.
but he was, you know, it let his emotions get a little
Yes,
out of
that's
control.
what it did.
He hit the rock
Emotions.
instead of doing that. So the name is Meribah Kadesh because they're also the people, when they wanted water, they strove with Yahweh.
Huh.
Wasn't with the man.
Right, right.
All right, now, Old Testament, let's go to Job. Let's continue on with part 2. That was just a little brief review to bring us up.
Praise the mighty
All
Yah.
right, to Job. So in the wilderness, Yahweh wants to get out of us what the devil put in us.
I know, right?
That's before we knew Yahweh.
That's
Most
right.
of us were not born in this.
No, we
That's
wasn't.
right.
And even if we were born in this, if our parents, you know, were still coming along and progressing,
Right, right.
there's some worldly stuff that we picked up.
Uh-huh.
Even growing up under parents that knew Yahweh.
That's
Yes,
right.
Yes, yes.
So,
True.
because we're in the wilderness, now Yahweh is getting out of us what the devil put in us.
Hallelujah.
But the bottom line is we have to realize we're broken.
Yes, we are.
We're broken. Why? Because we've been born into the wilderness.
Yep.
We've been born into a world where Adam and Kawah, the first man and woman, did what Yahweh told them not to do. So we come with this brokenness.
Yes, we do.
And you're always going to show us we kind of like Humpty Dumpty. you know the
Put us
nursery
back
rhyme,
together
right?
again.
Sat on the wall.
That's
Right.
right.
Well, coming into the world is you sitting on the wall.
Yep.
And you have that great fall before you even come out of your mother's womb.
Yep.
And this is
Yah
Yahweh
has
trying to put us back together again.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Praise
All right. Now the question is, are we going to cooperate with
That's
Yahweh
it.
and start to work on
That's
ourselves
it.
or not?
That's it.
Don't be so busy trying to work on me.
That's right.
Good. It's you and Yahweh.
Right.
When you came in, who was it? It was you and Yahweh,
Right,
right?
right.
You was your mother, but it was you and Yahweh. When you go out,
Sure.
you won't need your mother or father. It's just you and Yahweh.
That's right.
All right? Now, you're going to have to start working on yourself whether you want to or not. Let's
Okay.
go to Job 23rd chapter. The devil wants you to take a shortcut and
I
point
know,
your
right?
fingers at me or point your fingers at your brother.
Okay.
But guess what? In the end, you're going to be in that coffin by yourself.
You and
You
Yahweh.
better have Yahweh in there with you.
Okay.
Right.
Ruach HaKodesh.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Job 23, and let's start reading at verse 10, please.
Hallelujah.
Job 23 and verse 10 reads,
But he knoweth the way that I take. When he have tried me, I shall come forth as gold.
Yes.
This is what we want
Yes.
to do.
Yes.
Come forth as gold. That's the highest form of revolutionism, you can say.
Okay.
That's the highest form. That's being like Yahshua. Yahshua came through here and showed us how to come out of the wilderness
Yes,
as
he
gold.
did.
All right? If we do exactly like Yahshua did, we got it made.
Yes, we do.
But he, Yada, the way that I take. Yahweh knows the way you
Yes, he
take.
does.
And he's telling you, okay, if it's not the way that I'm telling you, get right. Get on the right path.
Hallelujah. Get on right
He says, when he have tried me,
23.
you're going to go through some things. It won't be bad, but Yahweh just has a path tailor-made for you and me. See, because what he needs to get up out of me may be different from
That's
what
right.
he needs to get up
Y'all
out
right,
of you.
right. I'll tell you like it is.
Tailor-made.
Hallelujah.
That's
Teach,
right.
sister.
Okay?
Teach
But
the
all
truth.
of us
Teach.
have to get some of that.
Hallelujah.
We're going to read about some of that pus
Okay.
up out of us. Because he said, my people they got big old wounds.
Oh,
and they
yeah,
go
we
around
do.
oozing pus and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when you break a boil and that
Tell it
nasty
like it
stuff
is.
comes out.
Sister.
He said, my people got pus all up in them.
Yes, we do.
Why? That pus is that wilderness that got inside
Right,
them
right.
from being separated from me.
That's it.
From their parents not knowing me. So Yahweh knows the way that I take and the way you take.
Yes,
and
he
when
does.
he have tried me, that he has sifted me to get all this stuff up out of me,
Teach, sister.
then I'll come forth as gold.
Yes, we
But
will.
I got to cooperate. He's not going to force me.
No, he will not.
I have to submit. I have to know when it's Yahweh telling me this, because he might tell it to me through a person.
Right.
But now, if they are not part of your immediate family, then he's not telling it to you.
Okay.
This is your immediate family right here.
Hallelujah.
True. That's
Hallelujah.
right.
Praise.
Until you get
Hallelujah.
to an age to where you
That's
can
the
discern,
That's it. Praise the
there
mighty God.
are,
Praise the mighty
there's
God.
family out there, but there's also some lions and tigers and bears out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some people unaware have been meeting with the lions, tigers, and bears, and they come back and they don't know they're missing a finger. They come back and they're missing 2 fingers.
Right.
In other words, the lion and the tiger has chewed on them and took away some of the truth that Yahweh put in them.
Right.
So this is your immediate family. All right?
Hallelujah.
Yahweh knows the way that I take. When he has tried me, I shall come forth as gold.
Yes,
That's
we
what I
will.
made
Yes,
you
we
for.
have.
All right? Whatever Yahweh showed me that's ugly and bad about me,
Okay.
I'm not going to lie and try to put on a sack and say, oh, no,
Clean it up.
I know that people can't really see it because when you're a person of Yahweh, it's apparent. It's like you got a big old sign. Shelomah got an attitude. Something wrong with Shelomah. Can't nobody tell her nothing. I might as well hold the sign up there because you see it. The only one that's being deceived is me.
Right.
I don't want to be deceived no more.
Never again.
Verse
That's
11.
That's right.
My foot hath held his steps.
Yes.
His way have I kept and not declined.
Yes.
This is how you get up out of the wilderness.
Hallelujah.
It says, my foot has held whose
His
steps?
step,
Yahweh's
Yahweh.
steps. Whatever step Yahweh said, okay, that's go that way, go that way.
Right.
I'm walking in those steps.
Hallelujah.
They talk about footprints in the sand. Yahweh get footprints in his word. Whatever he tells me to do, I'm walking that way.
Okay.
My foot had held his steps, his way have I
His way.
Shabbat and not declined. Verse 12.
Neither have I gone back
Nope.
from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessaries. Food.
Okay.
And neither
That's
have I
deep.
gone back from mitzvah of
That's
his
deep.
lips. Whatever Yahweh said, whatever we're reading here. He
Yeah.
said, I have esteemed Hadabar, the words of Yahweh's mouth, more than the food that I have
That's
to
right.
have. You know we're addicted to food, right?
Right.
And we have to have it
That's right.
every day. Food
Uh-huh.
and water. But now on Yom Kippur,
Right.
we sacrifice to Yahweh, and guess what? Yahweh brings us through that day.
Yes,
Hallelujah.
it does. Hallelujah.
But it's necessary for our existence. But Yahweh's word is supposed to get put up higher than that.
Okay. It
So
does.
if they're having a free buffet of whatever natural food,
Uh-huh.
and then they got a free buffet of Yahweh's food, I'm supposed to choose Yahweh's
That's
food.
it. Praise the mighty God.
That's where it's
Yeah.
supposed to be if I want to come up out of the
Okay.
wilderness.
You
All
have
right?
to.
Let's go to the New Testament, to
Praise the
Revelation.
mighty God.
So we come up out of the wilderness, we're going to the last book in the Bible, Revelation, by allowing Yahweh to have access to the ugliness that
Okay.
got inside us without him.
Right.
And there was some ugly stuff that got up in us without
Yes, it
him.
was.
And we may, I hope we get to the scripture today where whoever say that they don't have no ugliness inside them, they're
Huh.
lying.
They lying.
That's right.
They call him Yahweh a
That's
liar.
what thus says Yahweh.
Yeah.
And then you better not call Yahweh a liar.
Huh. You better
Then
repent
you're
right
really
quick.
in trouble. Revelation 12, and we're going to start at verse 1.
Hallelujah.
Revelation, which is the last book in the Bible. Revelation
Hallelujah.
12. And let's read verse 1, please.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Now this is symbolically talking about Yisrael.
That's right.
Yahweh's people.
Y'all right, Ron. Tell like this.
There appeared a great wonder in Shemayim, an Iyshshah clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and with her head a crown of 12 stars. And you can read about this same thing, which was a dream that Yosef had
Okay.
in Bereshit,
Right.
in Genesis. And it was talking about how the sun and moon, bowed down
Right,
to him
right.
and everything. And he being a child and immature, he told it to his brothers, and they hated him. He told it to his mother and father. And talk about, is he going to bow down?
Right.
I believe his mom had passed.
Yeah.
But his father, ended up finding out what the dream was about. But it's also symbolically talking about Yahweh's people
Yep.
that is coming forth from Yahweh and is being led by Yahweh and Yahshua.
Yes.
And it's talking about Miriam, who had the Savior, Yahshua.
Okay.
All right? Because we're going to read in verse 2 where it's talking about Yahshua, but it's also representing Yahweh's people as
Okay.
children. All right? Verse 2.
And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered.
Verse 3.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head.
Now, all of this is a vision that Yachanan saw, but what it's talking about, it says, this woman, who is Yisrael, being with Zakah or child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. So it's talking about Yahweh's people. They had to be delivered up out of the wilderness.
Right.
And it's also talking about the physical birth of Mashiach, of the Savior.
Okay, that's right.
And you notice when deliverer Moshe came, then there was a mass killing of Yahweh's people.
Right.
Because they were trying to, so Moshe was like a mini deliverer. And
Right.
he said that Yahweh's gonna to send forth a Nabi or a prophet like unto me.
That's right.
And then you notice it says capital P prophet, which
Okay.
is talking about Yahshua.
Hallelujah.
And so here it's representing all of those, plus it's representing us, pain to be delivered, coming up out of the wilderness.
Out of the wilderness,
All
yeah.
right? And pain to be delivered. So it's going to take a little pain as far
Yes,
as
it
your
does.
flesh.
That's right.
Yes, it
Because
does.
when Yahweh shows you,
Y'all right,
things,
tell like it is.
you know, you may want to, and you may kind of say, okay, you know what? Let me just take a break here.
I know,
And
right?
then, but regroup and come back now, because
All right.
the only place you
Don't stay
can
out
go is
there.
Yahweh, right?
That's right.
He said there appeared another wonder in Shemayim. So here's somebody else up there with Yahweh.
Uh-huh.
And behold, a great red dragon. Well, that's the name for Hasatan.
Right.
And not only with him, now he's got a religious system.
Yes, he does.
It says he has 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. So you can read over in Revelation. You can also read in Daniel where it talks about these people. This is talking about this religious system. This is talking about this Mother's Day and Father's Day and all this other stuff.
Okay, y'all right,
All this
tell like
ugliness
it
we
is.
got up in us before we came to Yahweh, which is a pain. And again, the way this sister, you know, it was, and they, you know, we didn't get to do it, you know, on Sunday because the restaurants were booked. But see, well, they're gonna take me out on another day. What's the difference? Okay.
Right.
It's the same thing. You're still
Right.
celebrating paganism.
Right. Exactly.
And they don't mean any harm, but there was somebody, a leader, that stood up and told them it was all right. And instead of listening to what Yahweh said, like I said, people can mean well, but your bottom authority is not people.
No, it's not.
Your bottom authority is what Yahweh
But
said.
thus says Yahweh.
All right? Now, we're in the New Testament. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. So this wilderness experience that we're in is not about us specifically, but it's about us as being part of the people of Yahweh.
Right.
1 Corinthians. It's not about us specifically.
No, it's not.
So it's not about me. It's not about you specifically. It's about you as being part of the people of Yahweh. And before you met Yahweh, you did nothing productive spiritually.
No, we did not. We were
And
dead.
you won't do anything productive spiritually after you come to Yahweh unless you let him get that ugly out.
And that's it.
I'm not calling you ugly naturally. Okay? I'm not
come
calling
out
myself
you
ugly naturally. But I was real ugly before Yahweh dealt
Right,
with me
we
for the
talking
last
about
33 years.
the deeds of Yahweh.
1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter.
Praise the mighty Yah.
And we're going to read one verse. 1 Corinthians 10. And let's read verse 13, please. 1 Corinthians 10.
Hallelujah.
And verse 13 reads,
There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Elohim is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above, that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bed.
So, you know, now he said,
Hallelujah.
when you know, Yahweh knows the way I take, but when, you know, he's tried me, I'm going to come out as pure gold. Now here, we can take heart. It's like Yahweh not going to put us under a grinder and just grind us to powder. No, he loves us. He's not going to do it that way. Men will do it that way.
Okay.
They tell you, you know, you this and you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that.
Right.
But learn how to tune men out.
Hallelujah.
Like I said, and give them the benefit of the doubt. Because you don't walk around all bitter and paranoid. Just listen to people and tell them, you know what, can we pick that up later?
Right.
Just be kind to people.
That's what we're supposed to be.
Be like Yahshua was.
That's it.
But he says, whatever Yahweh put you through, or whatever you go through because you're in this world, you're in the wilderness.
Yes.
He said, there's no trial or temptation.
None.
Whatever Hasatan come against you with.
None.
Taken you or come upon you or you have encountered, but such as is common to Adam. That's what it's about here in this wilderness. That's what happens.
Right.
You know, stuff happens. Why? Because it's Hasadan's world.
Right.
So don't be in a back alley in the dark. Remember years ago, this sister was asking me over there in the hood, June way, and I think she was going to work and walking at 3 o'clock in the morning, coming through the alley because it was a shortcut. And praise Yahweh, she asked me the question, you know, so sister, do you think, you know, Yahweh will protect me and, you know, walking through? I said, look, sis, get on the main street.
Right.
Yahweh.
He say don't tempt him.
Don't be like the devil did Yahshua and put him up on top of the building and said jump off.
Right.
But she didn't mean any harm. It's like, you know what? It's 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Just stick to the main street.
Right.
Don't be walking down. You know, leave 5 minutes, 2 minutes early.
Right.
I mean, you're working right there at Howard Street, so you're down on June Way. How far? You know, how much of a cut can it be? You know, 10 minutes, no matter which way you come, but just just stay out of the alley at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Amen.
All right. And
Praise
don't be,
mighty
Yahweh will protect you, but we got to use our
Yes, he gives us the
stuff we know to right.
Think.
So he said, but whatever happens to you, he said, Elohim or Yahweh is in you now. He's faithful. He will not allow or suffer you to be tried or tempted above that you're able. So whatever happens to you, don't be thinking, oh, this is too much. And above all, don't let it come out of your mouth.
Right. That's it. You can think it, but don't speak it.
Then it starts becoming a law by coming out of your mouth.
Yes,
Don't let it come out of your mouth. Because then you can start hitting yourself on the head with the hammer. And telling yourself something about what Yahweh said. Like our forefathers said, we grasshoppers, we can't do that.
Right.
Boom. The more they said, I'm a grasshopper, boom. The more I said, I'm a grasshopper. You got a big old lump up beside your head. Well, what are you telling yourself you're a grasshopper for? Yahweh didn't say that.
No, he didn't.
He said, you're able. You're already sufficient to come through.
Yes, we are.
He said, and with the trial, Yahweh got a way for you to get out. There's always a way.
Yes.
There's always a way.
He always makes a way out.
That's right.
He said he always works everything out for our good. Why?
Yes, he
Because we're
does.
called according to his purpose
Hallelujah.
about his business.
Yes.
He said that you may be able to deal with it.
Right.
All right? So whatever we go through in the wilderness, Yahweh already gave us the ability to handle it.
Yes, he has.
Already. However, in the wilderness, we're clued in that we can't do it without him.
That's it.
He needs to give us and let us know exactly how to get through it.
The mighty Yah.
All right? We're in 1 Corinthians 10. Let's go up to verse 1.
Hallelujah.
Let's read verse 1, please.
Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea.
Now, it's talking about these children of Israel, ancient Israel in the wilderness. They got baptized. It said, moreover, I would not that you should be ignorant. So Yahweh doesn't want us to be ignorant about this or anything else. How that all our Abba were under the cloud and all passed through the sea. So what did that mean? He tells you, verse 2.
And we're all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea.
So he said, okay, for those people that, you don't have to be baptized, you don't have to be
Praise the mighty Yah.
Hey, Yahweh said, ancient Israel were all baptized. Why? Because none of them was going to stay on the other side. They were running through that water, which made the part of the Red Sea. Why? Because Pharaoh's army was right behind them.
Right, right.
So they were running through the Red Sea.
Uh-huh.
They were all baptized unto Moshe in the cloud and in the sea. But guess who was in the cloud? That was Yahshua.
Yahshua.
All right. Verse 3.
And did all eat the same spiritual meat.
So this is not just something natural. Remember we said who's coming up out of the wilderness leaning on Yahshua? It's the spiritual people of Yahweh.
Okay.
Yahweh gave them spiritual meat in the wilderness.
Hallelujah. Yes.
But some of them, you know, like you feed a child and then they don't like how it tastes, they spit it out. Let's not spit out what Yahweh's putting in our
Not
mouth.
these the boss.
They did all eat the same spiritual meat, ruach meat.
Spiritual meat.
Now Yahweh gave them manna, which was angel food. That's natural food. He's not talking about that.
Right, right.
The spiritual meat was the words he
That's
told
it.
them. Was what he said.
Right.
That's spiritual meat. That's what you're getting now.
Hallelujah.
Verse 4.
And did all drink the same spiritual drink.
Wow.
For they drink of that spiritual rock that followed them. And that rock was Messiah.
Now, they let you know Yahshua was back there.
Yep.
It said, and not only did they have spiritual meat, they had spiritual drink. Now this is not natural.
Right.
Spiritual drink. Yahweh also said that the words he said, they're water. They'll quench your thirst. We just sang the song, you know, if you lead me, you know, I'll follow. And then, you know, I'll drink your word and I'll be quenched.
Right, right.
So he said they all drank the same spiritual drink. And then, so if you're wondering, okay, no, it's talking about natural. It said, for they drank of that ruach sewer that followed them. And that sewer was who?
Yahshua.
Mashiach.
Hallelujah.
The anointed one, the Messiah. He was right there in the wilderness. That's why all they had to do was lean on him so they could get up out of it.
Right.
Believe what he said and then do what he said.
That's it.
But what happened? Verse 5.
But with many of them Yahweh was not well pleased. For they were overthrown in the wilderness.
Now what did they do? It said with many of them. Elohim and Yahweh was not well pleased. The only people Yahweh is not well pleased with are the people that don't listen to him and do what he says.
Okay.
That's right.
That's it.
Disobedient ones.
That's why Hasatan is headed for the lake of fire.
Yeah.
It's very simple. He's not well pleased with anybody that doesn't do what he says, when he says it, how he says it, however long he says it. Because Yahweh can change up. Just because something worked yesterday, Yahweh may want you to do it different today. All right?
Right.
That's
Yep.
the only people he's not pleased with. Verse 6.
Now these things were our example to the extent we should not lust after evil things as they also lust.
Right, right.
So we are not supposed to lust after anything.
Right.
All right? And then Yahweh's going to let us know before this lesson's over exactly what happened. But it says, these things are for our example.
Yep.
We're not supposed to be those people where we just have to go and get our, face bashed in because we won't listen to somebody say, okay, don't, go down that street because somebody's over there and they're going to bust your lip.
Right, right.
And then I'm hard-headed and stupid and go over there and then I get my lip busted.
Right.
Like, why didn't I just listen to what the person said?
Yeah.
But Israel is kind of built like that. And the one thing, just like the first man did, the one thing that Yahweh says don't do, boy, that just becomes like a big giant, that's all they can think about. And they want to run and do it.
Right.
But we're not supposed to be those people. That's the ugly he's bringing up out of us.
Right, right.
All right? Verse 7.
Neither be ye idolaters as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play.
Now, he's saying if you didn't know what this lusting was talking about, now he's breaking it down. He said, neither be ye idolaters, idolaters as were some of them, as is written, Ham sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. That's when Moshe went up, and Yahshua was, on the lower rocks. He went up to get the mitzvah, the commandments.
Okay.
And then Yahweh told him, you know what, you got to get down now.
I know,
They have
right?
corrupted themselves, And then they down there naked worshiping 2 golden calves that they got from the black Hamites. This is their worship. And then talking about these are the cows.
Tell like
This
it
is what
is.
brought us out of Mizraim. All right?
Right.
He said, idolaters, worshiping something other than Yahweh.
Okay.
Verse 8.
Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000.
Now, we should get from this verse, Yahweh is not playing.
No, he ain't.
Yahweh is not playing. He said, neither let us commit fornication as some of them committed. In other words, worshiping another El, doing what Yahweh said not to do,
Okay.
or not doing what Yahweh said to do. It said, neither let us commit fornication as some of them committed. Again, this is for our learning. This is for us to,
Yes,
we
it
don't
is.
have to go that way. And fell in one Yom, 23,000. That's a lot of people.
Sure, yeah.
And they were Yahweh's people.
Yeah.
But
Right.
they were natural minded.
Yeah, they were corrupt.
And we're going to see the scripture where Yahweh said he's going to purge out the rebels. Again, you got a choice. You either a rebel or you're a revolutionary.
Okay.
There's no middle ground. There's no, I'm a revolutionary, but I'm going to, let my children take me out for Mother's Day.
Okay.
I'm going to sit at the table and I'm going to eat Thanksgiving dinner. You better cook your turkey on any other day.
Right.
And have you understand,
That's
because
right. That's
I'm
right.
confusing
Yep.
people that are looking at me,
Yes.
and I'm leading them to believe that Yahweh is telling me one thing when really it's just a pagan custom that I was brought up in that I may not know about yet, and if I know about it, woe be to me.
That's
If
right.
I know about it and I'm still doing it and I'm trying to put a Band-Aid on it and patch it up and make it be all right, it's never going to be all right.
Never. Now we got.
Yahweh did not institute it.
Nope.
All right, so 23,000 died. Verse 9.
Neither let us tempt Messiah, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents.
See, so now this is a different time. He's saying they tempted who? It didn't say they tempted Yahweh. Yahshua. So for people that are trying to throw Yahshua away, hey, it said, neither let us tempt Mashiach, the anointed one. As some of them also tempted, and they were destroyed by serpents.
Okay.
So we may not get to that today, but we're going to see. Yahweh sent some poisonous snakes in there
Yes, he did.
to bite them up. He's not playing.
No, he's not.
He don't want us to be playing.
No.
And then he's doing this in love. He's not
Yes, he
vindictive.
is.
He's not. He's not wrong in any way. He's nothing but love. He's nothing but righteousness. But one thing he said, he will be respected.
You're right.
Whether we learn how to respect him in the wilderness, or
Okay.
again, woe be to you. But that's why he said, I'm going to give him a chance. He said, let him hear it and hear it and hear it and hear it. So you won't hear it just once. You're going to hear it
Amen.
over and over again. So that Yahweh will know, okay, they heard that 20 times. Or Yahweh knows when we understand it anyway.
That's right. Yep.
Verse 10.
Neither murmured ye, as some of them also murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer.
So look who doing this now. It wasn't really Yahweh killing them. He just took his armor of protection from around them.
That's it.
So they were in the wilderness. There's snakes all over the wilderness. And they were just being dumb and not realizing that Yahweh keeping all this snakes and all this stuff away from us. Yahweh's wall is around us,
Yes,
even though
it
we don't
is.
see it.
Yes, it is.
So he just said, okay, you know what? These people being hard-headed don't think, let me just put a gap in the wall and let the snakes come in and bite them. It's not like Yahweh created snakes. He was just keeping them outside the perimeter. That's what he's doing for us now.
Hallelujah.
Making everything so nice in the wilderness. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer. That was Hasatan doing that.
Y'all right,
He loved coming
it.
in.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, come on, snakes, get in. There's a hole in the hedge. It says in another scripture, if you put a hole in the hedge, in other words, if you stop being obedient to Yahweh, you put a hole in your
Yes, you
head,
do.
and the serpent gonna come through and
Yes,
bite
he
you.
will.
Yeah.
Yahweh had it. That's what happened.
Teach, sister.
Yahweh didn't create
Yeah.
the snakes. He just had the protection around them. And then he just said, okay, come on in, snake. Verse 11.
Now all these things happened upon them for examples, and they were written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come.
All right, and verse 12.
Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed, lest he fall.
Okay.
All right, he said, now all these things happen unto them
Okay.
for example. So we can read about it and we can learn from it.
Should.
And we can get the message. We can get the, what is that where they have a story and then at the end they say whatever the moral. So we can get the moral.
Yeah.
Now all things happen unto them for examples. They're written for our admonition, our warning.
Right, right.
Upon whom the ends of the world are come. This is the last of the last days, people. It says, wherefore let me and you that think I'm standing take heed lest I fall. Because you can have
Okay.
been in this thing a long time and not make it up out of the wilderness.
Okay.
But it depends on us. Praise Yahweh. It depends on
Hallelujah.
us. It doesn't depend on anybody else
That's right.
but us. Let's go to the Old Testament, to Yeshayah or Isaiah. So in the wilderness, the older generation of ancient Israel died because they tried to dismiss Yahweh. And if you try to dismiss Yahweh, you're going to die too.
Yeah.
I just tell you straight up.
It is
Isaiah,
written.
the first chapter. So we can dismiss a lot of people, but Yahweh is not on that list. You cannot dismiss Yahweh.
No, you cannot.
He brought you in here, and you're going to see him going out.
Yep.
You better pray you see him and not see Hasatan going out.
Okay.
Yahweh forbid.
Praise
Isaiah, the
Maria.
first chapter, and let's start at verse 4, please.
Hallelujah.
Ah, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquities, that are corrupters, they have forsaken Yahweh, they have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger, they are gone away backward.
Okay, so let's read that one more time. Okay, verse 4.
Ah, sinful nation, a people laden with
Iniquity.
iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They have gone away back.
Good, good. It says, hata am. Who's he talking about? His people.
Right, right.
He's not talking about the Gentiles. He's talking about Israel.
Yeah.
Why? Because this whole book is directed to us.
Yes, it is.
Right,
And then the other
sister.
people just got the benefit to come in, through us.
That's right.
Hata am, hata goi, am laden, full of iniquity. That stuff where you done it so long and it's wrong that you got a groove in yourself in. Where you're just so used to,
Doing it, yeah.
whatever the bad habit is or whatever the ugliness is, you
Can't
just,
see it no
you're
more.
in a rut. You got a rut in yourself.
Right.
Laden with
Stuck.
iniquity, a seed of evildoers,
Right.
band that are corrupters.
Huh.
Why? We corrupt people when we're supposed to be doing what Yahweh said to do, and number one, we're ignorant of what Yahweh said to do.
Right.
And number two, we start learning what Yahweh said to do, and we don't want to be a revolutionary about it. We want to be some kind of pale ghost of what Yahweh said we're supposed to be. He said when people see you, you're supposed to be totally different.
Hallelujah.
That's why we put on the tzitzis and we put on the garb that Yahweh said for us to put on.
Praise
But
Maria.
we have it outside, but we got it inside
That's
too.
right. That's where it come from.
We're changing from the inside out.
That's it.
We're not dressed up like white sepulchres. And
Right.
then my heart is all,
I know.
crooked and all dark and black. He said, children that are corrupters, they have forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked HaKadosh, Akkad of Israel unto anger. They gone away backwards.
I know, right? Look.
When we didn't have Yahweh, we were backwards.
Yup.
Amen. Amen. Right.
Now how you gonna hold on to Yahweh
Yeah.
and then try to hold on to your backwardness too?
I know, right? Gotta give it up.
Again,
Do it.
rebel or revolutionary. There's no gray area.
None.
Remember this man, this
Either
attorney
here or there.
years ago talking about, yeah, you know, and the longer I live, the more I see it's not black and white, it's gray. And I'm thinking, when donkeys fly, I didn't tell him that, but you know, hey, he was my boss, so I wasn't gonna say that, but I just let it go in one ear and
Right,
out.
right.
But here's an educated man.
Uh-huh.
They're gonna tell me the more I live. And then I'm thinking, well, something wrong with you. You're not studying the Bible or
You're
something.
going backwards.
Yeah. All right, verse 5.
Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more.
Huh.
The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint.
He talking about us.
Yes.
We're broken.
Yes.
We're Humpty Dumpty. Yahweh's putting us back together
Yes,
again.
he is. Praise to mighty
But he
God.
said, why should you be stricken and chastised
Right,
anymore?
right,
Come
right.
back. Let me deal with you. Let me put you together.
Hallelujah.
Don't be pretending like you're not broken.
So, all right.
You will revolt more and more.
Yes, we will.
If,
Yes, you have.
if Yahweh's telling me one thing about myself, and then I'm trying to tell him something else and justify it, that's not going to work. He said the whole head is sick,
Yes.
and the whole ruach faint, trembling, don't know who I am. Why? Because I'm not letting Yahweh tell me who I am. He's
That's
the
it.
only one that can tell me who
That's
I am.
it.
Verse 6.
From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and terrified scores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither modified with ointment.
Huh.
Well, he said, now these are all the things that Yahweh can help with,
Right,
the ointment
right,
and stuff.
right.
But he said, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there's
I
no
know it.
soundness
The
in
whole
me or in
Gibeah.
you without Yahweh.
None.
But wounds and bruises
That's
and
it.
putrefying sores. The sores been so stagnant that they stink. You know, you can open something up and it just, you know, they stink like gangrene. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment.
Huh.
Go to the New Testament to 1 John. So we all have to get we have to get all of us involved, New Testament, 1 John, to serve Yahweh. All of us. Heart, soul,
Right,
mind,
right.
everything you got.
Gotta give it up.
You can't hold nothing back. We have to allow Yahweh to touch those deep, dark,
I know,
creepy
right?
places inside us.
Hallelujah.
And don't be coming in the temple pussing all over everybody.
Amen. Amen.
Don't be coming in the temple talking about when you was a teenager and went to a party and this beautiful girl came in there and then some gangster wanted to dance with her and then she went outside and then the gangster came and killed her.
Huh.
Now how many times you gonna say that? Get out of here with that.
I know, right?
Stop pussing all over people. How many times? Okay, you said it once.
Three, that's enough.
Let it go.
Now you need to go to a psychiatrist or something to get that over. Why you gonna come in pussing all over
I
us
know, right?
with that?
Where's the point?
Pus, oozing out. Green slime. So some of ancient Israel did not want to go through the process of being healed. Now it's a process.
Yes, it is.
Not like Yahweh flips a switch and, okay, ooh, I'm all better. I'm brand new. No, because then we would stand up and say, oh yeah, see, I'm all right now.
Right, right.
Yeah, Yahweh flipped the switch, so I'm this and I'm
Right,
that.
I'm.
No. Yahweh's going to make sure we understand it's Him.
That's right.
Yahweh
He
pull.
deserves the glory.
Yahweh
Plus,
pull.
it's to draw His people to
Hallelujah.
Him.
Right.
It's not about you lifting me up and telling me I'm this and I'm that.
Uh-huh.
It's not about me going out there seeking for you to lift me up and tell me I'm that.
Okay.
That's right.
If I do that, then I'm just like these lions and tigers and bears
Okay.
out here. I'm trying to gnaw off your fingers. Why? Because I'm taking the spotlight from Yahweh, and that's evil.
Yes, it is.
That's wicked.
That's right.
I'm not going to do that. Yahweh and Yahshua deserve all of
Yes,
the praise and
all.
all the glory.
Hallelujah.
That's what we're in here for.
Hallelujah.
That's what He brought us here for. We sang that song, this is who we are in you.
In Him.
Hallelujah.
Without Yahweh, we're the scum of the earth.
Yes, we are.
Amen.
Again,
Yes.
what we think is righteous about us is what Yahweh say, filthy,
Yes,
nasty,
it did.
dirty rags.
Yeah.
Got all kind of germs on them. You not only need Lysol, you need something else. Lysol only get what, 99%? 99.9.
On the
That's
surface.
right.
All right, so ancient Israel didn't want to go through the process of being healed, and they kept Yahweh out of the places that need to be healed. We in 1 John, the 1st chapter. Let's read verse 5, please.
Hallelujah.
This then is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you, that Elohim is the light, and in him is no darkness.
And that's what he's bringing us to in the wilderness.
Yes.
It said, this then is the message that we have Shema of him, talking about Yahweh, and declare unto you, this is being told to you now, that Elohim or Yahweh is or
Yes,
light,
it is.
and in
Yes.
him is no darkness
None.
at all.
None.
To get to the kingdom, he's showing us in the wilderness.
Right.
Hey, Shelomah, you got this dark spot over here.
To purge it out.
And I'm going to show you how to work with it. First, he'll show it to me, and
Okay.
then he'll let me understand what it is. Now, then it's up to me to say, okay, Father, I don't like that about myself. Show me the way to get
Okay.
that out of me.
Okay. Praise
All
the
right?
mighty
In
Yah.
the New Testament, let's go to Romans. Because in him is no darkness at all. I don't want no darkness at all in me. And you shouldn't want none in you. That's how you get up out of the wilderness.
That's the only way.
Going to Romans, the 8th chapter.
Hallelujah.
We do not work the ugly out of ourselves, and I can't work it out of you.
No, we cannot.
You got to work it out of yourself.
Amen.
Then, as the Ruach keeps saying, we're going to drip pus from our wounds over everybody we encounter.
Okay. And
In the
that's true.
wilderness,
No more.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde have to come out.
Okay. Sooner or later.
Yahweh wants us to leave Mr. Hyde in the wilderness, and
Right,
Miss
right.
Hyde too.
Amen.
And if we don't, we're not coming up out of the wilderness.
Never can.
Romans the 8th chapter, and let's read verse 12.
Hallelujah.
Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh, to live after.
Okay.
Verse 13.
For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do modify the deeds of the body,